Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continually roll very well to this very day, that is continually feeding the flock through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Also, shalom to the whole elect that is also laboring his work, giving you due diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, truth, and sincerity, and in all charity. Now, topic of this video is going to be entitled Signs of His Coming, or I might title it as Signs of Yahweh Shai's Coming, however the Spirit allows me to title this video as. But basically in this topic, I'm going to be discussing the signs of Yahweh Shai's return, in which if you have the spiritual eye to see the things that are going on around us, you see that the time is very near. It's near for Yahweh Shai to make his grand return on the planet Earth. Because the scriptures speak about him returning in a glorious fashion. And before he is to return, certain things will have to happen. Certain things that certain sequence of events that lead you to measure when Yahweh Shai is going to return, because no one is able to pinpoint the exact time and day and year that Yahweh Shai is to return. But he's left behind us signs to show us when he's going to return. And we see that today. We see different things happening pursuant to prophecy that shows us that Yahweh Shai is near. All right, he's near to returning and to deliver his elect out of the earth, which consists of 144,000 out of the nation of Israel, and to decimate and to destroy this land known as America, which is known in the Bible as Babylon the Great. And once again, pursuant to those signs that he's left behind, you see that today. All right. And, the Lord prophesied about it back during the time of the Roman Empire, when he was walking the earth in the flesh. See, the things of which he was speaking about before, when he was with his disciples, which later became apostles, he was speaking over their heads, man, because they were thinking that the kingdom was going to return right then and there, because Yahweh Shai was there in the flesh. But Yahweh Shai knew that it wasn't time yet, because he had a job to do. He was assigned a task by the Most High Yahweh to be made the sacrificial lamb for the sins of Israel. And then once that's accomplished, then there's another set of events that's supposed to take place afterwards that leads us to this time to where we are right now. It leads us to the point now that we have this knowledge, that we have this truth. Because Yahweh Shai, when he made that sacrifice, he opened the door, so to speak, for us to obtain this knowledge. That's why when he was put to death, the veil of the temple rent, all right, which was symbolic for now that the priesthood was open unto all the tribes, because only the Levites were able to go into the temple. All right, they were only able to go into the holies of holies. But now all the tribes are able to go in, because Yahweh Shai made it to where the tribes can go in. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the precepts that I have here. First and foremost, I'm gonna get the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. I'm gonna start at the 3rd verse. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? And of the end of the world?" So the disciples knew there was going to be a time to where everything was going to end. All right, even they had an idea of the end of the age, in which, again, they were thinking that it was that time which they were living in, but it wasn't time yet. All right, because see, now it's the time for the age of Esau or Edom, which is the true biblical nationality of the so-called white man. His time is up. All right, now it's the end of this current kingdom that we see right now. All right, then it's going to usher in the kingdom of Yasharallah, which is Israel. All right, verse 4, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Oh, and by the way, that word world there in the scripture in verse 3, that word world there means aeon. All right, in the Greek is aeon, which means an age or a time. All right, because when somebody reads world in the New Testament, especially John 3:16, they think it's talking about the planet Earth and everybody that lives on it. But no, you got three definitions of the word world, man. And in this case, it's the Greek word aeon, which means age. Okay. I'm reading again. It's at verse 4. It says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Right? So be sure that no man deceive you or beguile you. Okay. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing wars, all right, proxy wars, as it's been to this very day. And then you have rumors of wars, all right, which is more conflict, all right, which is ultimately going to lead up to World War III, which that's also spoken about in Revelations, all right. So ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See? So these things have to come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? So it's not, even though you have wars and rumors of wars, and you have ones that say that I am the anointed, you got guys that claim to be anointed of the Lord, which they're not. Okay? And they're deceiving many, all right? Case in point, even that you got ones that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, but yet they're teaching in a spirit of deceit, because they're not teaching the whole entire 100% of the truth or the scriptures. All right, because they don't have the doctrine. All right. Then you got ones that are outside of the nation of Israel that call themselves pastors and preachers and bishops that have no clue who they are, and they're able to deceive many. All right. They're able to open up a mega church and have thousands upon thousands of people come to the church and listen. All right. And sit down and partake. Now, reading on at verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And that's what you see right now. All right, it's been earthquakes in diverse places, man. Places that you would never think about. Okay? And it also says there's going to be famines and pestilences, and nation's going to rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what you're seeing right now, man. Nation's going to rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right? You're going to have one faction against another. And that not only is that talking about the next coming war, right? Or the build up to the war, but it's also going into nation against nation, which is going to have one people against another. So you're going to have, which are the two main characters of this story that we're partaking in. You're going to have Jacob versus Esau. You're going to have Israel versus Edom. You're going to have the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans versus the so-called white man. All right, there's a race war on the horizon, man. And they picked the perfect guy, Donald Trump, to do it, man. To spearhead this next coming race war, man. Okay. Verse 8 says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so this is just the beginning. Okay. I want to grab another precept here. Actually, yeah, let me go over to this app because it's in the Apocrypha. All right, it's the book of 2nd Esdras, and the 9th chapter, start at the 1st verse. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So we seen these things come to pass. All right, that's how we measure the times. All right, I'm gonna come back to the scripture in a second, but the Lord spoke on this in a parable concerning discerning the times. All right. This is Matthew the 16th chapter, and this is at the 1st verse. It says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. All right, and that's what these people really look for, man. They look for some sort of sign, some major outbreak or so-called breakthrough or epiphany to show them that the Lord is near, or the Lord is coming back soon, even though it's right there in front of their faces, man. Ashley is going to go into it in the scripture. All right, it's going to explain what sign that the Lord gave to these people to show them that the Lord is very near. All right, verse 2, he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. All right, so he's basically making a parable of how you can discern, when it's going to rain, when it's going to, or when you're going to discern foul weather, whether it's going to be sunny out, or it might be cloudy or windy. You might have a storm coming. So, in the carnal sense, you can see all that. All right, and that's what he was basically saying. He was saying that they were carnal by telling them that. Said, look, you can discern the things, stuff in this, the signs in the sky concerning the weather, right? But this is what he says. He says, "Oh, ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?" And that's true. They can't discern the signs of the times, man, because they're known as the natural man. The natural man can't discern the things of the spirit, like it says in if I'm not mistaken, is 1 Corinthians. But actually, let me get it because I don't want to butcher it. I'm gonna get it here in just a second. It says, "Oh, ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the times?" It says, "A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign," like I mentioned earlier. It says, "And there shall no sign be given it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah." All right. When it says Jonas, it's talking about Jonah. All right. When he prophesied in Nineveh. Okay. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing that same spirit of prophets being sent to you to warn you what's about to come. All right. And there was one point where Nineveh they went off, but I won't say reconciled, but they got themselves together, so to speak. But the Lord still destroyed Nineveh, man. All right. So the Lord has sent out his prophets, man. That's the sign of the prophet Jonah. The Lord sent out his prophets to prophesy, and America's going to be destroyed. America's going to be taken down, man. Babylon the Great. Okay. Now I want to grab the other scripture which I talked about earlier about the natural man, right? 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, it's at the 14th verse. It says, "But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned." So the natural man cannot receive the things of the Spirit. These things that we're seeing right now, these are the things of the Spirit. If you don't have the spiritual eye to see, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, then you're not going to be able to see it, man. All right? If the Lord has not provided you with that spiritual eyesight, then there's no way possible that you can discern the signs of the times. The reason why we know that is because you got guys that know that they're Hebrew Israelites, but they're putting far off the evil day. Like it says in the book of Amos, and actually that's the spirit. because I got on deck. See if I can go back here. Yeah, this is Amos. It's like, yeah, it's my app messing up. Amos, the 6th chapter, this is at the first verse. It says, "Woe to them that are at ease in Zion, and trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came." Right. So the point in the scriptures, it says, "Woe unto them that are at ease in Zion," man. All right, because our people are at ease right now. They're at ease in this captivity. All right, that is enabling them to put far off the evil day, man. But if you're spiritual, you see that these things around you are temporal. You're not gonna stay here long in America knowing that fact, man. All right, basically you're here in America to serve your captivity, just to work for a piece of paper that's barely even worth anything, and it's not going to be worth anything in the near coming future, because the dollar system is going to crash. All right, the fiscal currency that you see right now, that it has governed the whole world for years and years, is coming to an end. All right. Skip down to verse 3. It says, "Ye that put far off the evil day, and cause the seat of violence to come near, that lie upon beds of ivory, and stretch themselves upon their couches, and eat the lambs out of the flock, and the cows out of the midst of the stall." Right. Eating good, man. All right. That lay on beds of, like it says in the beds of ivory, stretch yourselves upon couches. All right. Basically stretching yourself out and making yourself comfortable. You know how you lay back on the couch, and then you be stretch your arms out and your legs. That's what our people are doing, man. Stretching themselves upon the couch. All right. And then it says to eat the lambs out of the flock, man. Basically eating, and not only that, man, our people love to eat, man. All right. Eating and drinking and having a good time and laying back and kicking it, man. All right. But the Lord, like it says right here in the first verse, says, "Woe to them that are at ease in Zion," man. All right. Now I'm gonna go back to 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. Go back to the 2nd verse. It says, "Then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," in which we see that now. That's why you got civil unrest. That's why you got all types of unrest across the whole entire planet Earth, man, in these different nations. Okay. So if you see these things, you see earthquakes, you see uproars of the people, civil unrest. Verse 4, "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." So even from the very, very beginning, the Lord spoke about these things, man. All right, the Lord put these things into action. And actually, it's like him. He put these things into plan, and now you're starting to see it come to action. Now you're starting to see it come to fruition. Okay. Verse 5, it says, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." So the end is making itself manifest, man. All right. It's making itself known by the things that we're seeing. All right. The prophecies that are unfolding, man, right before our very eyes. Verse 6, it says, Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonder and powerful works, and in endings, in effects and signs." So in the end, you're starting to see effects and signs, man. All right. And what was that sign I mentioned earlier? The sign of the prophet Jonah. The prophets are out doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay. Verse 7, it says, "And every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and end off on that note. Our Lord's word was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rechakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well. Also, shalom, peace and safety, and salutations to the hopeful elect that is laboring this labor of love, giving your due diligence to make your calling and election sure in faith, truth, and in sincerity and all charity. And with that, because it's shalom.